let's go to Jeff and Justin from FrustratedRockstars.com. Hey, fellas.
What's up, everybody?
And what are we going to be discussing tonight?
They're going to talk about, there's a lot of old bands that are coming out with new albums recently. Guns N' Roses, the big one. Metallica.
Yes.
Springsteen just came out with a new one. A few other guys. Now, are these old bands with new music? Is the music as good as it was in the past?
Right. AC/DC put out a new album.
AC/DC, that was another big one. So how does it stack up? Is it worth these old guys, my age guys, still doing it, or should they have packed it up?
Yeah, because a lot of times it's like sometimes why even bother? I mean, we love the bands, we love to see them in concert, but they make new records, and a lot of times we just kind of blow it off, and we go see them and go to the bathroom when they play the new songs.
Yeah. Well, I remember going to see Floyd without Roger Waters in '94 at the Rose Bowl in L.A., and my buddy telling me, "Save your good weed for the second set, bro." Because it's all Division Bell shit in the first set, and then in the second set, as soon as you hear "Wish You Were Here," fire it up.
Nice.
And he was right. He was absolutely right.
I think a lot of the bands, like AC/DC, has the same sound. It's so you get
very much the same sound.
It's you know what I mean. It's the same shit over.
They're not going to break format. AC/DC. They're going to keep doing what got them to this point.
Kansas, we got Carry On My Wayward Son and Dust in the Wind. We're done.
That's all they got, yeah.
So were they. Kansas plays full. That's all we need.
Yeah.
See it at Chili Cook-Off. That's good. That's all we need.
See you at the county fair.
The artists that are, respected, by the critical media or whatever, they can make records like Bruce Springsteen, and people will still dig it. Bob Dylan, people will praise it. But it's the bands like Kansas and Styx and Night Ranger and Poison. They can't make new records. They can, but no one buys them.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there's U2. I mean, U2 had some,
Right. They can continue to make records because they're they're established as the greatest artists of all time.
And they get the media push behind it.
Right.
When Bruce Springsteen puts out a record, he's got the cardboard cutout.
Yeah, he's got his own station.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's going to sell 2-3 million copies guaranteed. But a group like Night Ranger right now, they have no media push behind them. They're on some small label. Just go out and do the Chili Cook-Offs, do the 80 reunion tours. Don't try to still be viable.
What about
without that media push? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen.
What about a band like AC/DC who makes a deal with the Walmart?
Well, that's a great move because then they get Walmart behind them. Same thing with the Guns N' Roses. They did the Best Buy thing, so that's the way. The Eagles did that too with Walmart, where they just sold it there, and that gives you that marketing push, which gets it out there more.
Yeah, but even Guns N' Roses didn't do as well as they thought they would.
Well, first thing, it's not Guns N' Roses. That's the
yeah.
problem.
Thank you.
Everybody knows it's Axl Rose and 4 guys with chicken buckets on their head.
Yeah, but it hasn't Axl
it's a mockery of Guns N' Roses. It's really a shame, is what it is.
Bob, what do you want to say?
Hasn't Axl fucked every city? I'm coming here, and then he cancels. And why would you fucking buy anything off of him?
Well, he's burned a lot of bridges, not only in the performance world, but just with session musicians and producers and I mean record companies
and his fans.
Nobody wants to work with the guy. Nobody wants to see him do well.
Yeah, I think Geffen is just trying to get a little bit of the money back they spent over the past 10 years on this record, and that's going to be it.
Let's go to Josh in New Orleans. Phone lines are filled up, but keep calling 888-STERN-1001. We're going to get through this. We're going to turn and burn these calls. Go ahead, Josh.
Hey, guys. Love the show. Shuli, great job hosting.
Thank you, buddy.
Curious, what would you consider the best old-school band still going on, or even better than that, what's the worst old-school band that's still going on?
Good question.
Well, I'd go worse. Believe it or not, I'd probably have to go with Duran Duran. I mean, they were a pretty boy band, and now they're all horribly in their late 40s. And their last 3 albums of original music have been an embarrassment. So to me, that's such a money grab, and that to me would be the worst.
Well, their last album, they tried to get relevant because they hired the guy Timbaland to produce it.
Yeah, but Timbaland doing Duran Duran, it's ridiculous.
That's
it's
retarded. That's retarded.
Yeah, that's retarded. So I'd go for that for the worst. What do you think for the best, Jeff? Metallica still?
I would guess Metallica. If you want to go, I don't know if you want to go back to bands from the '60s and '70s that are still doing it. Well, back to the Stones, real quick. Their whole thing now is they tour. People love to see them tour. That's like the thing. To go see the Stones. Their new albums, they record them. They don't play those songs again. They don't even play them at the concerts.
Right.
It's like, why bother? Just tour.
Tim in St. Louis. You're on Miserable Men with the Frustrated Rockstars. Check them out at FrustratedRockstars.com.
Yeah, since the Black album of Metallica, they put out shit, but this new album, they kind of went back to the old school. And it's about time.
Yeah, you're happy with the new Metallica album.
Yeah, I think it's one of the better albums put out this year.
Jim, Jeff, Justin, what are your thoughts?
Well, they're one of the bands that's been able to get new fans every couple of years. So that's how they're able to stay in the game. Is they still get to the MTV generation. Plus, all of us guys from the '80s.
I think also this new Metallica album, it's one of those albums that you need to listen to 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
The first time you go through it, you're not like, it doesn't hit you between the eyes.
You're so...
Third or fourth listen, you're... Go ahead, Jeff.
No,
third or fourth listen, they get you.
I was just going to say, you're so right on the money, because I put that album into my iPod about a month ago, maybe, 3 weeks ago, and I listened to a few songs a few times, never listened back to it. Then over this past weekend, we've been traveling. I've done nothing but listen to this album, and it is fantastic. Let's go to Denise in Toronto. Denise.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
Love the Frustrated Rockstar segment, and I'm a frustrated wife. I have a husband who is a huge Queen fan, and last month Cosmos Rocks, The Atrocity came out with Queen and Paul Rogers, and we actually traveled to New Jersey a couple years ago to the Continental Arena to see Queen and Paul Rogers. So I just wondered what the Frustrated Rockstars views are, kind of like Guns N' Roses. Isn't Guns N' Roses, is Queen really Queen without Freddie?
And also, you have Led Zeppelin right now looking for a new lead singer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff, you want to take this, or should I?
Wait, was that the Led Zeppelin?
Well, I can't stand it. I think there's certain bands that are so defined by their lead singer.
Yep.
You take like the Doors reunion concert, and they have Ian Astbury replacing Jim Morrison. I mean, that's heinous. That's taking a shit in church.
It's the same as Gary Sharon replacing David Lee Roth.
Right.
Or trying to find a new NXS singer. You don't replace Michael Hutchence. He was a unique brand of entertainer. You don't replace him with a reality show.
Yeah. You don't get a guy from TV to do it.
You don't replace a guy who choked himself jerking off on a door with just some schmo.
That's why when Bob does it, we're going to close this.
We're shutting down operation. Yes, Twitchels.
My opinion is this. Look, if you were once a big star and you had some great music, wouldn't you want your legacy to be remembered that way? Especially if not the entire band is still a part. If you only got one or two of the original guys, just go to bed.
Look
That's
at
my opinion.
look at
Go
the
the fuck
Beatles.
to
Look at
bed.
the Beatles. Okay, they got out at the right time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They got out looking great, and that was it.
Well, Jeff, Justin, I want to thank you guys for coming on like you always do. You guys are great here on the show, and the listeners love you. Check out frustratedrockstars.com. Send them an email. Tell them how much you love their segments on here.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right. 888 Stern 101. You're listening to Miserable Men on Howard 101. We'll be right back.